well, welcome everyone. It's been a little rainy around here, and it's good to see everyone dry and healthy, hopefully healthy. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Are there any introductions? Is there anyone who would like to introduce themselves? You're new, you haven't been here in a while, whatever. No takers? Francis.
Hi everyone, this is my first time here. I'm the Behavioral Case Manager with the Behavioral Health Department with Central California Alliance for Health. Excited to be here with everybody.
We're glad to have you. Thanks for being here. Anyone else? Yeah, Sean.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I know we have CHS representation at all the meetings, but it's been just a bit since I've been in one of these, so I just wanted to say hey and good morning.
Hey, good morning. All right, anyone else? No more takers, okay. All right, let's move on to public comment. As a reminder, let's keep public comments to 2 minutes or less per speaker. And I'll go ahead and entertain anyone who would like to make a comment.
Oh, all right. I'll go. Wes White, Salinas Monterey County Homeless Union, co-president, also executive director for Hugs, helping you get support, nonprofit. Just tripping out on the way things are going. I mean, we could house people, we could shelter them. I mean, they're already doing affordable housing as it is, their own shelter. So stopping the sweeps needs to be a central component to this endeavor of homeless service providers. There's a lot of bits and pieces, people being mashed into pieces. So then we can help them as a mascot. Now, are we trying to support life or keep people on life support? My church does a thing where they go once a month to go serve a meal, and they feel that's exonerating themselves. One meal a month, that's the life support part. If my church was interested in equality and justice, then, we'd all be trying to stop the sweeps. What we're doing is robbing people, and we're allowing jurisdictions to do so. The city and the county are doing two-day notices, which they never do anyway. They never post a notice. It's like being in an abusive relationship with two parents that don't really focus on the child. The abusive father and the permissive mother. That's a coalition and the jurisdictions. All this money going in the name of, but never directly to, and then do it again tomorrow. You know these people. They're signed up on services. They're doing everything they can to be legal, and yet the illegality is trespass. Dude, where's your papers? Where's your lease? So that needs to be a central component of every continuum of care, unless you're just here for the money. Are you here for life? Support life, not just keep people on life support, please.
All right, thank you, Wes. Okay, and note Roxanne's comment, please, in the chat. All right, are there other comments? Anyone? Okay, you're a quiet crowd today, but we'll go ahead and I'll blab
Thank you, John.
Good morning, everyone. So, and I did get a lot of questions yesterday about this, and we go by the National Weather Channel. So I've been checking daily, especially when it's storms or between storms or about to storm and what have you. And for the Monterey Peninsula, with the hourly weather, there was not one instance where there was a combination of rain and under 45 degrees. Now it can change from time to time, but I'm looking at it right now, and we're at 45 degrees for tomorrow morning, midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. So, like I said, it could change. We could activate, but it's only a few hours, and there's a couple hours of 100% rain, and then a couple hours that wasn't. So yesterday when I checked, we activated the other 3 regions, but not Monterey, because there were at least, I think, 47 degrees or higher yesterday. So like I said, we've been monitoring it daily. The non-activation that was sent out, that was looked at Monday morning. And Monday morning, none of the regions showed that it would be 45 degrees or less with rain. And that's the stats that we get, or the data we get, is from the National Weather Channel. Now, people send me screenshots from iPhones and all kinds of other places, and truthfully, like if you look at just the overall day-to-day, it could show you the coldest point, but not necessarily if it's raining at that time. So, like I said, I'm going by the Weather Channel, the hourly when it's raining, to see exactly if overnight it merits with the rain and the coldness. And now, like for example, this weekend for South County, it's going to be under 38 degrees with no rain. So at that point, I'll ask for an exception. Why? Because it's cold, and we've done it in the past as well during this inclement weather.
Well, I think clearly, John, you're following the rules, and you're doing a good job of monitoring the official website. And I don't know, maybe the official website doesn't give us the breadth of information we need to make an informed decision. I don't know what the issue is, and again, we don't have time to discuss it or solve it today, but all I know is that the peninsula has met the criteria this week and been overlooked, and to me that's an issue when I drive down the street and see people out in the elements that I wouldn't want to be out in, and that threaten their lives. So thank you, John, for following the rules. I guess I'm asking, is there a bigger discussion about criteria, about which websites to look at, that needs to be had? So I just wanted to tee that up and kind of leave it alone. But thank you. Okay. Now that I've stirred the pot, are there any additions or modifications to the agenda today? Okay, are there any member updates? 2 minutes each.
I have a few, Greg. I'm not a member, but if I can just piggyback onto DSS's membership.
Okay. Go ahead, Roxanne.
Sorry, I'm off camera, everybody. I'm not feeling well this morning, but we have really good news to share. We have several grand openings that are happening over the next month. The first one is the Fairview Home Key Ribbon Cutting, which is on March 5th. The next one is the Sendero Interim Housing Facility that is in Soledad. That is on March 9th. The third one is Casa de Esperanza, which is the King City Home Key, which is on March 19th. We are still working on securing a date for the what I've been calling the Tiny Village, but it's actually called Hope Village in Watsonville. That's the one that we did with the County of Santa Cruz to help people who are living along the Pajaro River. That one actually moved people in, and Sendero moved people in. It's just the grand openings are trailing. The one in Watsonville is probably going to be the first week of April. So we're doing our best to open as many locations as possible, but being very cognizant of the fact that money is drying up. And it is really difficult. It will continue to be difficult over the next couple of years for us to open up more, but, just wish us luck. We're trying our best.
Well, and Roxanne, we appreciate it. All the work that you guys do with your leadership at the county. It's never enough. I know, but you do a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? That's it? You are a quiet crowd today. All right, well then let's move to CHSP officers. Katrina, would you like to take that one?
Sure. Definitely can. So last meeting, you all voted on moving in Donna Smith from MCOE to our board of directors, and as a CHSP member, and she was then voted on, along with others, as our vice president, Donna Smith, and Alexa Johnson as our board secretary. Greg Baker maintains his position as board president, and Judy Cabrera from Cecil maintains her position as treasurer with our board. So just welcoming them to the team and letting you all know who are the leaders of the leaders. So thank you guys for volunteering.
Yes, let me echo that too. Thank you. Obviously, these are volunteer positions, and you do it out of the goodness of your heart. So thank you. Okay, committee. I'm sorry. Where are we here? Gathering for women. Okay, Stacy.
Greg, really quick. Sorry, I have gotten interrupted. Can I give a quick member update?
Go ahead.
Sorry. I just want to, good morning, everyone. Just give a quick update. Our fundraiser that we had this Super Saturday on February 7th was a huge success. We sold about, I think it was 145 chowder bowls, and we raised close to $10,000, I believe. So, close to that from that fundraiser. We also have an upcoming fundraiser, Banding Together, which will be on March 7th from 12 to 5 p.m. at the Custom House Plaza in Monterey. And that'll be a music festival, so come enjoy some live music, and that'll be supporting our mental health, substance abuse, and homeless services here in Monterey County. And we also do have 2 positions open for our street outreach programs, and we are in the process of hiring a case manager / housing navigator for Schumann Farmhouse. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I'd also like to do a quick update, Greg, since we're back to that. We're celebrating the Lunar New Year here at Interim at 339 Pajaro Street in Salinas on Friday, the 20th at 11:30. All are welcome, and there will be food and lots of dancing from the Monterey Bay Lion Dance Team, if you guys know them. So it will be fun. Please spread the word to your constituents, and we'd love to see them there. Thanks.
Sounds like fun. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so now we'll go to Stacy, who would like to make a quick update for all of us on behalf of Gathering for Women and Community Human Services. Stacy, go ahead.
I think Sean is joining me as well, or Robin, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm here. Well, would it be possible to share screen? Is that allowable?
Sure. Go for it.
Okay. Perfect. There we go. Well, hello everybody. We've probably met everybody here, but if we haven't, my name is Sean Stone. I'm the COO at Community Human Services. Stacy is the Executive Director of Gathering for Women, and we are presenting, and we'll do our best to keep it to the time allotment. But we're presenting to various groups to provide a little bit more insight into some funding shortfalls and how that is going to impact programs, specifically Casa Noche Buena, which GFW and CHS operate together, and Schumann Heart House, but both are shelters for women and families. And we know and want to acknowledge that the funding impacts to this group specifically knows more than anybody in the community how difficult it is, and what we're facing in the upcoming years. So we definitely acknowledge that and know what a challenge it is and will be. But for the purpose of this, we wanted to advocate and provide a little bit of context into these two programs that we operate. Is it super small?
That's okay. It's funny to do this online.
Yeah.
So most of you know our two programs, but I'll just go through it really quickly so to make sure everyone does. Casa Noche Buena was opened in about 5 years ago in January on a night similar to last night. It was dreadful, and it services it's a 35-bed facility. It services women and families with children. The length of stay is anywhere between 90 days to 6 months on average, and each shelter, the Schumann Heart House and Casa, serves about 80 people, 25 women and 15 families annually. The goal, of course, is to stabilize them, get them into permanent housing, get them self-sufficient. Both shelters provide basic needs, housing-focused supports like case management, housing navigation, rapid rehousing, financial assistance, and of course behavioral health and physical health, employment services, and financial planning.
And so in terms of these programs, we're really proud. Between Casa Noche Buena and Schumann Heart House, our permanent housing exits are around 50 to 57%, which we're really proud of. Obviously, we want to do even better, but very, very good. And on top of that, our temporary housing exits are between 17 and 24%. So, these programs work.
So as some of you probably know, in order to open Casa, we received $1.3 million of HEAP funding, raised some more funding through the community, and renovated a modular building that was the county's that we're leasing for $1 a year. Schumann Heart House was mostly through philanthropy, and both of them, as we said, are serving women and families with children.
So both of these programs, it's around $1.2 million a year to operate each program. For Casa Noche Buena, GFW and CHS established a special purpose fund through the Community Foundation for community fundraising and private philanthropy. And these programs are both primarily sustained through government grants, including but not limited to HAP, ESG, and CDBG. So we're starting to see the projected annual funding shortfall. There's a grid here, but it's non-cumulative. Looking at the upcoming fiscal years, combined between the two, 26-27 around a $900,000 deficit, 27-28 around 1.5 million. 28-29, 1.6 million, and 29-30, almost 1.8. And key drivers of the gap are HAP 5 and City of Monterey PLHA funds being depleted, Special Purpose Fund being depleted this year. Minor typo, but HAP 3, HAP 4, and all the deferred revenue that we've raised will be fully depleted. So without new funding streams, this marks the beginning of a structural deficit.
And as Sean mentioned in the beginning, we're keenly aware that we are not the only ones facing this. I'm sure most of your programs are facing this. I know some organizations have actually already closed because of this. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that the community knows that this is an issue and how it will affect the women and families that we serve, and that it will have effects on you as well if God forbid, the 2 shelters have to close. So, of course, our objectives are to avoid a service reduction and phase in reductions or closures while we're pursuing funding if we need to. Without additional funding, we will have to reduce services or capacity. We might have to eliminate case management or just have an overnight shelter or partially or fully close the program. So we really don't want to do that, and we're bringing that to you, hoping that if there's any way that we can have a partnership or figure out how to fix this for all good, and work towards that.
Thank you. Yeah. So just to echo what Stacy was mentioning, we're just providing this information. We're in initial stages of developing contingency plans and, wanting to ensure that these programs continue to serve women and families, continue the outcomes, and just looking for, additional ways to collaborate, stabilization or bridge funding. But essentially just at the very least providing that information about where this could be heading and exploring possible options. So we might have gone over, but we really appreciate the opportunity just to provide a little bit more context and what these 2 programs, along with other providers, but these 2 programs are facing.
So if people have ideas, ways to help, who should they contact?
Stacy, myself, Eddie, yeah, that would be fine. We're open to any discussions or brainstorming.
All right. Well, thank you, Sean. Thank you, Stacy, for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you.
They look like good programs, and they're certainly worthy of saving. So let's see what we can do. Roxanne, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to let everyone know that it's probably going to get worse. The next round of HAP 7 is only 50% of what we've historically had. So I am very much aware of the circumstances that our network is in. And at this point, I think we're just encouraging as many people as possible to try to lean into CalAIM, because it's the only funding source that can do some gap filling until things restabilize in a few years, as they tend to, right? Like, it's always peaks and valleys in our system when it comes to funding. I have faith that the next governor, whoever that's going to be, will also prioritize homelessness. There are a few governors, or gubernatorial candidates who are not my favorite, but they definitely have invested quite a bit in their regions into homelessness. So let's just keep the faith, guys. I'm sorry that we're all going through this right now. It sucks.
Thank you, Roxanne. Okay. All right, let's move on. Can we see our agenda again, please? All right, so Katrina, you are up with the coalition updates, please.
Okay, that's me. Welcome, everybody. Let's see. All right. Just want to let everybody know that we'll be sending out updated membership commitment forms to everybody listed on our roster, so that you all can update with new information. If there's any change in staff, just want to know, like, who are the members we need to be getting our information out to. We're getting a lot of kickbacks on emails, so just making sure that the right people are here, and you're always definitely welcome to share with the rest of the community or others in your organization, because this is a public meeting and we want to share the information that we're getting out. So keep an eye out for that, along with our 2025 and 26 membership dues. We I've been having a hard time getting those guys out, but they are ready. Our finance department will have them out to you shortly, but wanted to update you before you just got a random invoice in the mail. Anybody have any questions about membership dues or commitment statements? Alrighty. So I'll move on. I am extremely pleased to finally announce that the Coalition of Homeless Services Providers was nominated by the National Alliance to End Homelessness to apply for the Bezos Day One Family Fund in August of 2025. We were invited to submit this application, and at the funder's request, we were to keep it confidential until the foundation did the public announcement. So we've been working behind the scenes with some partners, coalition partners, to help quickly craft a strong application for this new grant opportunity. So this is a new foundation that we have never applied to, and we were awarded in October of 2025 $2.5 million to support local homeless response efforts directly serving unhoused families. So we're really excited to announce this, and I will share with you all the funding allocations that will be having available. We are currently reaching out to organizations to see how we can support and distributing these funds. So if this is something you're interested in, please connect with me, and we'll start our RFP process. It all kind of fell in this weird time frame where I had staff going out on leave and the holidays and NOFO. So we're in a better place to start distributing these funds, and we're really excited. So again, go ahead and I'll send this presentation out for you all. But reach out to me if you guys are in need, and we'll see how we can support. We'll be putting together a small little reviewing panel to look at some RFPs to get this out. But this is not COC funded, and it's really, they pulled us because they hear great things about CHSP and what we do in our community. So really excited to announce this all to you. Does anybody have any questions about this before I move on? Yeah, it's super quiet today, but thankfully we were able to fill the room. So thank you all for joining us today. We're moving on to our 2026 update. So I'm so sure all of our homeless service providers have been getting lots of emails from our data team, and when I say team, I mean Oliver, who is our HMIS system admin. Want to thank you all for working with him as we were able to finish and submit our LSA. So that's a longitudinal, somebody write that in there.
Longitudinal.
Yeah.
It sucks.
System analysis data. So we're really, it's a lot. And Oliver has been working with folks throughout the year to continue to keep our data up, but there's always going to need some back and forth. So it's currently being reviewed by HUD, and it will then be released publicly, and we'll have more information for you all on what our communities are looking like as far as our data goes. For the 2026 sheltered Hick and Pit, we have hit our deadline of February 3rd to get all of your housing inventory counts and point-in-time counts of your folks sheltered as of February 3rd. So over 80 programs were included in this activity, and we are currently awaiting 13 programs and 4 agencies to submit. So if you have not been contacted and you're one of those people, go ahead and reach out or just expect a connection. And I'm sure Oliver's on top of it, so hoping to get that completed, as the reconciliation for all of the 80 programs is quite intense for a one-man crew. As far as the unsheltered count goes, it was conducted on January 29th, and we didn't quite hit our volunteer goal of 200 for Monterey and San Benito County, but all census tracts were covered. So thank you to all of our volunteers that came out, our service providers, city, county staff. Everybody really made it happen. And thank you to Andrew Sandoval, who was leading that effort day of, as I was unable to make it for the first time in 11 years because I had 3 sick kids with the flu. So it was pretty tough for us, but we got it done, and we're going through the data with our vendor right now. So surveys are out on the streets and in programs at this time. And do you have a deadline, Andrew, on when we're trying to have surveys completed by?
You know what? I don't have an exact date, but I will get that. I will get that ASAP.
Yeah, just because then, you know, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but our actual hard data, unsheltered numbers and sheltered numbers need to be submitted to HUD. But we want to make sure that we're getting, we're on a good timeline to get the full census report completed. I'm aiming for end of May and hoping it doesn't go into June. But so we'll see how that goes. I'm not making any predictions. Please do not ask. And then our systems performance measures opened up on February 3rd, and we are working with all of our organizations yet again on data cleanups, and I encourage everyone to take advantage of the offered support prior to data submission. Oliver has many of hours open for our community to tap into him to work out any issues. So I do have Oliver on the line if you have anything else to say, but Bill, no pressure if you do not.
Nope, you hit everything on the head. Thank you.
And thank you, Oliver. Appreciate it. And all of our service providers that is putting data into our system. We know it's not the funnest task in all the hard work that you guys do, but it is an important one that heavily impacts our grants, our funding, and how our community is perceived in the public. So reach out to Oliver via his ticket system if you're having any issues or concerns. I'm going to take a pause right there to see if anybody has any questions, and just know it's hard for me to read the chat, so if anybody wants to tell me to look at the chats, I can do that. Okay. I'm going to move on to our COC update. We all know this was a wild one. We can mute that, whoever's going. Thank you. This 2025 COC NOFO was a fun one, to say the least. And I want to thank everybody, all of our service providers, our leadership council, our standby rank and reviewers, our ad hoc delegation body that helped us work through all of the changes that was happening, and want to just let everybody know that 2025 CFC NOFO is closed indefinitely, and we moved on with the renewal process of the 2024 contract. So everybody who submitted in 2024 and was awarded was able to renew without much pain. If we forget about everything that happened in November and December. So thank you for sticking through with all of that. And CHSP was able to submit all of the renewal applications for $8.4 million on February 6th. So everybody who applied for new funding or bonus grants, new applications, new projects, we just encourage you to hold on to those applications, because although we're out of the weeds for the 2025 NOFO, it is highly likely, and I don't know if I'm operating out of trauma or fear, but it's highly likely that the guidelines and requirements of our 2025 NOFO may show up in the 2026 NOFO, which we are anticipating to drop in June like it usually does. If they stay on their normal track, it will drop, July. It will drop in July and be due in October. So want to also share that we had some YHDP reallocations that we are trying to work with. You may have remembered that Bay Area Community Services, or BACS, was in our community, and they held a couple of contracts within our COC, and we were able to include their contracts and reallocate it to City of Soledad, as that was their subrecipient. They were subcontracting that work to make sure that funding stays within our community. And CHSP has a youth transitional housing project grant that we were subcontracting to Community Human Services, and was able to get that out. So hoping all of the awards are good and go through. It should be a simple thing, but please keep an eye out from Abrina or grants at chsp.org. .org if there's anything that is needed, so that we can fast track any adjustments per HUD's standards. So all applications are in review. We do not have an anticipated award date at this time, and we are continuing to study the 2025 NOFO and see, in the event if it presents itself in the 2026 NOFO, that we are ready. So, hi, Deline. Go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to, Katrina, piggyback on that. I am in complete agreement with you that it's likely going to be a do-over of what we were experiencing. Just yesterday, I was in a HUD COC meeting in San Francisco that was a HUD representative who was talking about the COC, and it was very clear to me that is the plan, that the plan is to move forward very similarly as they did with the 2025 in terms of the requirements, in terms of the application. So I heard that yesterday directly from at a HUD COC town hall, and it would not be a surprise to me. So I just wanted to echo and really ditto and plus one all that you're saying based upon what I was hearing yesterday.
Thank you, Deline. It's not surprising, but still shocking that we're going down this route. But, we're just going to do our best, everybody. So continue to hold on to those applications, and we'll see what happens next. Sorry. Fighting allergies. Gonna move on to a hot topic discussion that's been going on SAVE, HUD programs, and immigration status, and kind of what our organizations need to know. I'd really want to just clear some things up. and why. So let me just jump on in, okay? So what is SAVE? It is the systematic alien verification for entitlements. It's ran by DHS and USCIS, and it verifies immigration status only when required for federal benefits. It doesn't decide eligibility. It only verifies information to our knowledge, and it only applies to federal benefits. We are definitely recommending that you do not use it unless it's required by law. And then kind of why are we talking about this now? I've gotten several concerns from partners, and we want to provide as accurate information as possible, help to reduce fear and clarify roles within our continuum of care when verifying citizenship for our federal programs. So there has been the 2025 executive orders that have really enhanced this requirement and want to ensure that everybody is hearing what's happening and knows what we can do, what our next steps. Holy moly. I lost my other screen. Okay. So this HUD-funded or federally funded programs, it is not new for us to not utilize federal funds to serve the undocumented. This has been going on since the 1980s. But what happened in 1996 was this personal responsibility and work opportunity reconciliation act, and I think it's called Aurora. That's the acronym they're using. So Congress enacted this act, and which specifies that citizenship tests were only applied to certain federal benefits, and also establishing the basis for nonprofits to be exempt from this documentation for documenting immigration status. So I really want to pull that part out. I've met with many folks in our community, outside of our community, worked with focus strategies to help me gather information, because I've been piecemealing it through kind of in panic and reaction. So I've been taking this past couple of weeks, almost well over a month, to really dig deep into this. In 2009, the HEART Act dropped, and that's really solidifying the McKinney-Vento and how it works with the continuum of care. So in that, it continued to be apparent federal funding shouldn't be used for those undocumented. In 2025, 2026, that's when this super enhanced enforcement requiring SAVE dropped. And I know that it has been a concern for our partners, our homeless service providers that are HUD funded or other federally funded. And for the purpose of this presentation, I'm really only talking about homeless services. I'm not going to get into the other types of federally funded benefits that might come from other areas. I did not do my research on that, so just wanted to put that out there. So HUD's directive is really to just require SAVE when it's federally funded and, immigration eligibility applies that specific program. The provider is not exempt and is enrolling a client into a project. So basically, we all need to look at our organizations and look at the Perora suit law and or Prora Act, I'm sorry, and see where we fall into it. I cannot make those decisions for your individual organizations. I just want to put that out there, that we have this opportunity to see if our organizations are exempt from utilizing SAVE. And you might see this red line throughout these slides, and I'm just reiterating that SAVE checks do not happen during referral processes or assessments. It happens at the intake process. So there's been ongoing policy debates and legal challenges. And I'm just going to put this here so that you guys can, take a gander on it. A lot of folks are looking into this nonprofit exemption, and I will drop all the links for you all so that you can look into it and make your own determination for your organization. Because I'm not the lawyer and I don't run your organizations. I want to just give you guys the information so that we can all make sound decisions for our clients and our programs. So also want to throw out there that state of California funded programs does not require verifications unless it's specifically stated. So I would definitely look into any state contracts that you have to see if this is something that is required. But through my research, I haven't found any just yet that is requiring this of our clients. So in the event you are not exempt, who is responsible for using SAVE? And it would be look through those links that I showed you, and your lawyers and your organization determines how you move your next steps. But it'd be HUD-funded recipients that would have to use it, if not exempt, through the Prora Act, and agencies that are administering permanent housing, rapid rehousing, and transitional housing, and then agencies making eligibility determinations. And then who shouldn't be using SAVE? COC lead, coordinated entry, HMIS leads, and then outreach only or referral only programs. So when I say referral only programs, I'm thinking, organizations that are getting behavioral health referrals, or, in like community homeless solutions for their respite care, who has to take folks directly from the hospitals. If you're not HUD funded and not and not exempt, like, you would have to follow those rules. And then where does SAVE fit within the housing process in the event that you are not exempt from through Prora? So we do not do that in HMIS CARS intakes or assessment. So that is not something line staff, assessors, coordinated assessment assessors have to think about. That is not your role to think about that their citizenship status. Your role is to get that information so we can help coordinate housing interventions. It does not happen during program coordinated entry program matches. So when you're getting a referral, that is not something that the coalition looks into. It happens at the time the provider is going to determine eligibility and intake that client into your programs. But also, don't worry. If you are using SAVE and someone is not in SAVE, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're undocumented or they did something wrong. There are many folks without federal immigration records because it just hasn't linked yet, and additional verification is needed. So HUD goes through a whole process on what the additional verification requires means, and I will put this all together for you all to see what are your next steps, and then also following SAVE's site and how that all works. So, being the current state of our country, I cannot say yes or no on some things, but what we believe happens when someone is checked and saved is that it finds a match and returns a result, or it doesn't find a match and says, we need more information. This is what we want to believe happens, and we do not know if SAVE may flag or report clients. It is unclear if it alerts ICE, if any enforcement actions is triggered, if a flag is created. These are things we do not know happen. So this is something that I want to be forthcoming with, because through my research it says that it doesn't, but our current state of our country, I want to make sure that I'm not standing on something that I am personally unsure of. So what we believe is that save results are only visible to the authorized agency user, and that it is tied to a specific transaction, and that it's governed by strict and privacy rules. We do not know if save checks are shared with law enforcement. Before I move on, I do want to take a moment, because it was kind of heavy, and see if you guys have any questions on those previous slides. All right, I'll keep talking. So, off top, immigration status. I met with the oversight committee, and we had a discussion, and there was questions about putting immigration status inside the HMIS, and there was a vote to do so. And after that meeting, I continued on my research and spoke with consultants and other COCs, and that is no longer the recommendation. I do not think it is wise to house immigration status in our HMIS. That's not its intent. And we don't want to have any bias in our COC, in our communities, on if and how we're going to serve our clients. So that is no longer the recommendation. So again, what does that mean for CHSP and coordinated entry? Every human is human, and we will continue on to serve everybody just as such, because there are programs that will serve the undocumented. So we do not hold any of those, that status in our office or in our software. We do not screen for it, and citizenship does not happen on the referral side. Jill.
So just to be clear, if we are serving clients that are not documented in programs that are not funded by HUD, we don't have to do any reporting. We don't have to worry about the intake process and having to use SAVE. Is that true?
That is correct. If it is not required by your funding stream, you do not have to do it. And if it is required for our HUD-funded projects, we look into that Aurora exemption. Everybody needs to look into that, research it, know everything about it, so that we can stand on that until those laws change. I have spoken to some of our HUD-funded organizations, and it is written clearly into the contracts. But it does reference Aurora in it, but it doesn't tell you how to to determine that. So that's our next step, is to figure out how we determine the PRORA and enact that in our organizations.
Thanks, Katrina.
No
I
problem.
appreciate all the work that you did preparing this.
No problem. I'm hoping that it's helpful for everybody. So again, what does this mean for providers? Use it only if you're required to. Keep your saved documentation and program files not in any type of shared repository like HMIS. Provide notice and due process, and maybe even develop and obtain your own client consent if required by your policies. Because for me, I think messaging matters. I think that we should definitely give our clients a choice, so that when maybe a referral comes to you and you need to go down that route, if you do not have the PRORA exemption, to have that conversation with your clients and just simply say, we have to do an eligibility check for immigration status. It's required for our program. Is this something you would like to proceed with? And let them have a choice in what is their next step. And maybe there's another program that they can go to if they decline. And that should not affect your coordinated entry status with the coalition, because it's not that you're denying them from that program. It's they're choosing not to move forward with the process. So we want to just make sure that we give them client choice, and really just let everybody know that like our commitment is fair and equal access, and that we will comply without harm, that there's clear communication from the COC and to our providers, and help you guys, our providers, have clear communication with their clients so that we can protect our client dignity and privacy, and while protecting our service provider network. There are other options for those that may not have clear citizenship status at this time. And then some key takeaways. And I'm sorry, we just are unsure if SAVE equals ICE, and we're unsure if SAVE flags or port clients. But we know that our coordinated entry does not go through that process, and we will not put that information in HMIS. And we're hoping that this quick presentation, provided some clear roles, and that we can protect our clients and our providers with this. For me, I have some resources I'll share with you. I dropped some in there, but these are some of the resources I looked into, in addition to meeting with other continuum of cares and what they're doing, and working with focus strategies. So these aren't things that just I pulled out of nowhere. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of redirecting, lots of meetings, and to come up with some clear information that I'm hoping was helpful to you all. But that is our end of our presentation for today, and we're just at 10:01. Thank you guys. Here's our team. We do hard work alongside you guys, and we're here to support and help you through all the times.
Thanks, Katrina. Is there any way you can send us your presentation?
Absolutely. I'm going to pull it out. I'll send it in PDF, and then I'm going to attach my notes, because I was looking at time and I wasn't able to go over in depth everything that I wanted to say. So that was kind of high level, quick and fast. So yes, I'll pull that out and get it over to you all.
Thank you, Katrina, to you and your team for your great work. Appreciate all the updates today. Thanks everyone for being here. We'll see you next time.